everybody. Here we are today on the PTI Sports Show. Today we're going to be going over some big sports questions. So first, I got for you guys the PGA Tour we saw this weekend, the British Open. Zach Johnson got the win. What were your thoughts on the tournament overall, the conditions, the weather? What were your thoughts on that?
Mine?
Sure, Kevin. Yours.
Well, what I thought about the PGA Tour was I thought it was a great week at St. Andrews. Zach Johnson obviously played great. Good Transamerica guy right there. And I was very excited when he won because a very underrated guy. Needs to get his due out there.
And how about you, John?
I was a little bit disappointed because although Zach Johnson won this year, I think the tournament is a bit skewed towards in favor of European-born players. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, American players. I mean, although we have success, we don't play links golf that much, so we don't get that opportunity to practice there, unless you want to go Euro Tour. But I mean, it's a good tournament. It's fun. But
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Sticking with the PGA Tour, one of your favorites actually, Patrick Reed. He was, he didn't do that well this tournament, and a lot of people have mixed emotions about him. What are your thoughts on Patrick Reed's performance and just the guy overall?
Well, clearly a great guy, out there. Big time player on the PGA Tour. He's up and comer, 24 years old. He's gonna be a stud in a few years. Like his intensity out there. When he shuts the crowd on the Ryder Cup. Great guy out there.
Yeah, a lot of stuff he does is pretty controversial. How about you, Charlie?
I think he showed a lack of immaturity on the golf course. He's gotten fined for saying a few obscene things on the course, so he's a good player, but he needs to be more mature out there.
Yeah, it's very true. Now we're going to move to the NBA. So, big question this week is DeAndre Jordan. Him leaving the Mavericks after committing there verbally and then signing with the Clippers. Charlie, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on DeAndre's move? What do you think of him now as a person after that move?
My thoughts on DeAndre don't change. I mean, these NBA players, they're all flawed people, and you can't expect them to always be perfect morally. I mean, he didn't technically commit any rules or violate any rules, so I mean, it's perfectly fine with me.
How about you, Kim?
Yeah, I'm just a little disappointed because I feel like if he gave the man his word, he needs to keep his word. I know DeAndre like a brother, so I feel like I need to get a conversation in with him before I can figure out what my real thoughts are on this conversation.
Sure. And sticking in the NBA and LA, actually, this weekend the Lakers introduced their new players: Roy Hibbert, Brandon Bass, Lou Williams. You saw in the interview when the reporters there asked them a question about whether they had met Kobe yet, and there was just dead silence, and we can't really tell if that meant they hadn't met Kobe, whether they didn't like Kobe. So what do you think this translates to for the new players? What do you think it really means?
Well, it's obvious that Kobe's hasn't always been the best teammate. I don't think he's the best. I mean, you can learn a lot from him, but I don't think he's the best locker room guy to have in there. That silence just proves that. I mean, he hasn't reached out to the new players and the future of that organization. That doesn't really have much promise.
I don't think Kobe's really a big part of the Lakers anymore. He's not as good of a player as he once was, and they aren't really going for a championship. So I mean, why is he even there? I mean, he's gonna be gone in 2 years anyway, probably.
Points there. So that'll wrap it up for us today on PTI Sports. Join us next time. Thank you.